Welcome back to my Mind Mashups for another deep dive. If you're enjoying these explorations, be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss out on future episodes. Today, we're going to be diving into a topic that I think a lot of people are curious about: boosting metabolism.
It's something that comes up a lot in conversations about health and weight loss.
Exactly. And, we always hear those same tips about diet and exercise,
hmm
but we're going to go a little deeper today and uncover some surprising insights. So get ready to have your mind mashed up.
Absolutely. What's fascinating is that, we often think of our metabolism as this fixed thing, but there are actually so many different ways that we can influence it. We'll be looking at everything from specific foods and the power of cold temperatures.
Ooh, cold temperatures.
Yes, to the cutting-edge science of supplements and the fascinating world of the gut microbiome.
You had me at cutting-edge science, but first I have to ask, is it true that I burn more calories sleeping than watching TV?
Mhm.
Because if so, I might have to rethink my evening routine.
It's absolutely true. It all comes down to your basal metabolic rate, BMR for short. It's basically the energy your body uses just to keep functioning. Even when you're at rest, your body is still working hard behind the scenes, and those basic functions require energy.
So like breathing and keeping our hearts beating and all that good stuff.
Exactly. And believe it or not, digesting food actually takes a surprising amount of energy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's why you might feel a little warmer after a big meal. Your body is working hard to process all those nutrients.
That makes sense. So are you telling me that what I eat can actually impact how many calories I burn?
Absolutely. A single gram of protein, for example,
Yeah.
requires more energy to digest than a gram of fat or carbohydrates.
Interesting.
This is the principle behind thermogenesis.
Okay.
It's essentially the process of burning calories through digestion.
So it's like a little internal furnace.
Exactly. And certain foods can really stoke the fire.
Okay, I'm all about turning up the heat on my metabolism. So what food should I be stocking up on?
Think protein-rich foods, lean meats, fish, legumes. They require more energy to break down, giving your metabolism a little boost. And don't underestimate the power of spices.
Okay, I'm listening.
Chili peppers, with their fiery capsaicin ginger, with its warming gingerol and garlic packed with allicin and alliin, all contribute to this calorie-burning process.
So I can literally spice up my metabolism. What about drinks? Can my morning coffee help too?
You're in luck. Coffee, thanks to its caffeine content, can definitely give your metabolism a kickstart. And if coffee isn't your thing, green tea rich in catechins can offer similar benefits.
This is good news for my coffee habit. But before I go overboard on the spice and caffeine, should I be worried about overdoing it?
It's all about balance. These foods and drinks can definitely be part of a healthy diet, but they're most effective when combined with other lifestyle factors like exercise. Remember, no amount of chili peppers will make up for a sedentary lifestyle.
That's a good reminder. Now, this next topic might sound a bit strange, but I've heard that cold temperatures can also boost metabolism. Is there any truth to that?
It might sound crazy, but there's actually a scientific explanation. When you expose your body to cold temperatures, it activates brown adipose tissue, or B-bait.
B-bait.
Yeah, unlike white fat, which stores energy, B-day actually burns calories to generate heat.
Wait, so you're saying my body has a type of fat that actually burns calories,
Mm.
and all I have to do is get a little chilly. Sign me up.
It's not quite that simple, but research does suggest that cold exposure can have some intriguing benefits. Some studies have shown that regular cold exposure can improve glucose and fatty acid turnover, which are key for metabolic health.
Though those ice bath challenges we see on social media might have some merit after all. I'm not sure I'm ready to take the plunge, but I am curious about how much cold exposure is enough to make a difference.
You don't necessarily need to jump into an ice bath to reap the benefits. Even spending time in cooler environments, like going for a chilly walk in the park, can have a positive impact. Did you know the average person starts to shiver when the external temperature drops below 50 degrees Fahrenheit? That's your body trying to generate heat.
Fascinating. Maybe I'll swap my usual indoor workout for a brisk walk outside this week. Speaking of workouts, I know exercise is important, but I'm curious, are there any specific types of exercise that are better for boosting metabolism?
That's a great question. While any type of physical activity is good for you, strength training is particularly effective when it comes to boosting metabolism.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's all about building muscle mass, and muscle tissue burns more calories at rest than fat tissue, even when you're not actively working out.
So that old saying, muscle burns more calories than fat, is actually true. This makes me wonder, are there other lifestyle factors besides exercise that can impact my metabolism?
Absolutely. One of the most important is staying hydrated.
Yeah.
Water plays a vital role in metabolic function, helping your body process calories efficiently.
So water really is essential. I've heard we should drink 8 glasses a day, but is that just an old wives' tale, or is there science to back that up?
While the 8 glasses a day rule is a good general guideline, the exact amount of water you need can vary depending on factors like your activity level, climate, and overall health. But the bottom line is that staying hydrated is essential for keeping your metabolism running smoothly. Think of water as the lubricant that keeps your metabolic engine going.
This is all starting to make sense. We've got food choices, cold exposure exercise, and hydration. It's like a puzzle where all the pieces fit together to create a healthier you. And did you know muscle tissue burns about 6 calories per pound per day, while fat tissue burns only 2? So every bit of muscle you build is helping you win the calorie-burning game.
You've got it. Now, before we move on, I want to address a common misconception: extreme dieting. While it might seem like a quick way to lose weight, it can actually backfire when it comes to your metabolism.
I've heard about that, something about your body going into starvation mode.
Exactly. When you drastically reduce your calorie intake, your body thinks it's facing a famine and starts conserving energy. This means your metabolism slows down, making it harder to lose weight and keep it off in the long run.
So crash diets are a big no-no.
Oh.
It's all about balance and nourishing your body with the nutrients it needs. Speaking of nourishing, let's dive into the fascinating world of the gut microbiome.
Okay.
This is something I've always been curious about. How does the bacteria in my gut actually impact my metabolism?
That's a great question, and it's an area of research that's really exploding right now. The composition of your gut microbiome can actually influence your weight loss success, believe it or not.
Wait, are you telling me the trillions of bacteria in my gut, which collectively weigh about 2 to 6 pounds, can actually impact how easily I lose or gain weight?
It's true. Research is showing that specific bacteria in the gut are linked to fat burning and weight management. For example, Akkermansia, Mucinifila, Bifidobacteria, and Lactobacillus gasseri are all associated with improved metabolic health.
Wow. So it's not just about what I eat, but also about what I'm feeding the bacteria in my gut.
Exactly, and that's where prebiotics come in. Think of prebiotics as the food for those beneficial gut bacteria.
Like fertilizer for our gut garden.
I like that analogy. They help those good bugs thrive and multiply, leading to a healthier gut environment overall.
Okay, I'm following. What are some examples of prebiotic-rich foods I can add to my shopping list?
You'll find prebiotics in a variety of delicious foods like onions, garlic leeks, bananas, asparagus, oats, and flax seeds. Incorporating these foods into your diet can make a real difference in the composition of your gut microbiome.
So by feeding the right bacteria, I'm essentially supporting my metabolism and weight loss goals. It's amazing how interconnected our bodies are right down to the microscopic level.
Speaking of interconnectedness, what are some of the recent advances in weight loss science that are blowing your mind?
There are some incredible discoveries happening right now that are changing the way we understand weight loss. Researchers at the University of Copenhagen, for example, have developed a drug that shows promise in reducing appetite and increasing energy expenditure.
That sounds like a game changer. Tell me more.
What's really exciting is that unlike many weight loss medications, this drug doesn't seem to have the usual side effects like nausea. That's a huge step forward. That's incredible. It seems like we're on the cusp of a whole new understanding of weight loss and metabolism. What other areas of research are particularly promising?
Well, another groundbreaking area of research involves astrocytes, star-shaped cells in the brain. Scientists have discovered that they play a crucial role in regulating fat metabolism. By suppressing a specific gene in these cells, researchers were actually able to increase heat production in the fat tissue of mice, leading to weight loss even when they were on a high-calorie diet.
Hold on, are you saying they found a way to turn fat into a calorie-burning furnace?
It's still in the early stages of research, but the potential is incredible. The drug KDS 2010, which targets this mechanism, has shown promising results in animal experiments.
Wow, that's amazing. Are there any other new discoveries that have you excited about the future of weight loss?
There's a lot of fascinating research happening around the impact of exercise at the cellular level. A study by MIT and Harvard Medical School has been mapping out the genes and cellular pathways that are impacted by exercise. This research could potentially lead to the development of drugs that mimic the benefits of exercise.
So you're saying we might one day have a pill that gives us the benefits of a workout. That's both exciting and a little bit scary to think about.
It definitely raises a lot of ethical questions for sure, but the research itself is fascinating. And it's not just about exercise. Scientists are also exploring the impact of obesity on something called mitochondrial dynamics in fat cells.
Mitochondria, those are the powerhouses of the cell, right? The
Yeah.
ones responsible for converting nutrients into energy.
Exactly. And research has shown that obesity can actually alter the function of mitochondria in fat cells, making it harder for them to burn energy efficiently.
So obesity is essentially messing with our cellular energy production. That's a double whammy. Are there any other cellular processes impacted by obesity that we should be aware of?
There's been growing interest in the link between weight gain and something called endocrine disruptors.
Endocrine disruptors. Those sound a little ominous. What exactly are they?
They're chemicals found in everyday products like plastics and certain foods that can interfere with our hormones. And some research suggests that certain endocrine disruptors can actually impact our metabolism and contribute to weight gain. It's another piece of the weight loss puzzle.
So it's not just about what we eat, but also about what's in the things we use every day. That's a lot to keep track of.
It can feel overwhelming, but even small changes can make a difference. Awareness is the first step. Now, shifting gears a bit, there's also been some interesting research on the link between blood sugar and insulin resistance.
I've heard of insulin resistance. It's when our bodies don't respond to insulin properly, right? But how does that relate to weight gain?
It's all about how our bodies use glucose for energy. When our blood sugar levels spike after meals, it triggers the release of insulin, which helps our cells absorb glucose. Insulin acts like a key, unlocking the door for sugar to enter our cells.
Right, insulin is essential for getting energy from the food we eat.
But here's the thing. When we consistently eat a diet high in processed foods and refined sugars, our cells can become resistant to insulin.
Oh, I see.
This means glucose can't get into our cells as easily, leading to high blood sugar levels and, you guessed it, weight gain.
So it's not just about how much we eat, but also about the quality of the food we're putting into our bodies. We have to make sure our cells are responding to insulin properly so we can use that energy efficiently. It's fascinating how all these different processes are interconnected. Speaking of being overwhelmed, we've covered so many fascinating areas of research, but it can be hard to know where to start when it comes to making changes in our own lives. What advice would you give to someone who's feeling motivated to boost their metabolism but isn't sure where to begin?
That's a great question. I think it's important to remember that small, sustainable changes are key. Don't try to overhaul your entire life overnight. Start with one or two things you can realistically incorporate into your routine and go from there.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
What are some simple changes that can make a big difference?
One of the easiest things you can do is to focus on adding more whole, unprocessed foods to your diet. This means prioritizing fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and whole grains. And don't forget those prebiotic-rich foods we talked about earlier. They're great for supporting gut health, which, as we discussed, plays a vital role in metabolism.
Okay, so focusing on real food is a good place to start. What about exercise?
Mm.
We all know we should be moving more, but finding the time can be a challenge. What are some practical strategies for busy people who want to boost their metabolism?
You don't need to spend hours at the gym to reap the benefits of exercise. One of the simplest things you can do is to incorporate more movement into your daily routine. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. Walk or bike to work if possible. Stand up and stretch every hour if you have a desk job. These little bits of activity add up over time.
Those are great tips. I know I'm definitely guilty of sitting for too long. It's easy to get sucked into work and forget to move around.
We've all been there. Even something as simple as setting a timer to remind yourself to get up and move every hour can make a difference.
We've talked a lot about diet and exercise, but what are the role of sleep and stress? I have a feeling those play a role in metabolic health as well.
You're absolutely right. Both sleep and stress can have a significant impact on your metabolism. When we're stressed, our bodies release cortisol, a hormone that can increase our appetite and lead to weight gain. And when we don't get enough sleep, our bodies produce less leptin, a hormone that helps regulate our appetite and metabolism.
So getting enough sleep and managing stress are just as important as eating right and exercising when it comes to boosting metabolism. It's all connected.
Exactly. It's all about creating a holistic approach to health and well-being.
Easier said than done sometimes. What are some practical strategies for managing stress and getting better sleep? I know those are two areas that a lot of people struggle with.
Meditation and yoga are both excellent stress busters, and they don't require a lot of time or equipment. Even deep breathing exercises can help calm your nervous system and reduce cortisol levels. And when it comes to sleep, establishing a regular sleep schedule can make a world of difference.
I've heard that before. Something about training your body to recognize when it's time to wind down.
Exactly. Try to go to bed and wake up around the same time each day, even on weekends, to regulate your natural sleep-wake cycle.
What about those nights when you just can't seem to fall asleep? Do you have any tips for quieting a racing mind?
Creating a relaxing bedtime routine can be really helpful. Take a warm bath, read a book, or listen to calming music to signal to your body that it's time to sleep.
Those are great tips. We've covered so much ground today, and I'm feeling inspired to make some positive changes. Before we move on, I want to touch on the role of technology in all of this. Are there any gadgets or apps that can help us track our metabolism and make healthier choices?
There are so many amazing tools available now that can support us on our health journeys. Fitness trackers and smartwatches can track our steps, calories burned, sleep patterns, and even our heart rate variability.
That's incredible. I love how technology can give us so much information about our bodies.
It's truly empowering. And there are countless apps that can help us log our food intake, plan meals, find healthy recipes, and even connect with online communities for support and motivation.
So we have a wealth of information and support right at our fingertips. Technology has revolutionized the way we approach health and wellness.
It's important to remember that technology is a tool. It's up to us to use it wisely and listen to our bodies.
That's a great point. It's easy to get caught up in the numbers and forget to tune in to our own internal cues.
Mindful eating is essential. Pay attention to your hunger and fullness signals. Eat slowly and savor your food. And don't be afraid to indulge occasionally. Deprivation only leads to cravings and overeating.
So it's all about balance, moderation, and listening to our bodies. I love that message. Speaking of moderation, what are your thoughts on the cheat day mentality? Do you think it has a place in a healthy lifestyle, or is it more likely to sabotage our efforts?
I think the idea of a cheat day can be a little misleading. It kind of sets up this all-or-nothing mentality that can actually be counterproductive. It's more helpful to think about incorporating your favorite foods into your diet in a balanced way, rather than restricting them completely and then feeling like you need to cheat to enjoy them.
That makes a lot of sense. It's all about creating a sustainable lifestyle, not about punishing ourselves. Speaking of sustainability, weight loss is a journey, not a destination, right? There will be ups and downs along the way.
Absolutely. It's important to remember that progress isn't always linear. There will be times when you feel like you're rocking it and times when you might feel discouraged. The key is to focus on the big picture and not get too caught up in day-to-day fluctuations.
That's a great reminder. It's easy to get discouraged when you don't see results right away. What advice would you give to someone who's struggling to stay motivated on their weight loss journey?
First and foremost, be kind to yourself. Weight loss can be challenging, and it's important to celebrate your successes along the way, no matter how small they may seem. And don't be afraid to ask for support when you need it.
Speaking of support, we've talked a lot about lifestyle changes, but what about the role of medication in weight management? Are there any new developments in that area that you're particularly excited about?
There's been a lot of buzz lately around GLP-1 receptor agonists, a new class of weight loss drugs. They are medications that mimic a hormone called GLP-1, which is naturally produced in our gut and helps regulate blood sugar levels and appetite.
GLP-1 receptor agonists. That sounds pretty technical. Break it down for me. How do these drugs actually work to promote weight loss?
Well, GLP-1 agonists work by slowing down gastric emptying, which helps you feel fuller for longer. They also increase insulin secretion and decrease glucagon secretion, which helps regulate blood sugar levels and can reduce cravings.
Wow, so they're targeting multiple pathways involved in appetite and metabolism. That's fascinating. Are they effective?
They've been shown to be incredibly effective for weight loss. In fact,
Really?
some studies have shown that they can help people lose up to 15% of their body weight.
15%. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Are there any risks or downsides associated with these drugs?
Like all medications, GLP-1 receptor agonists do come with potential side effects, such as nausea and diarrhea, but for many people, the benefits outweigh the risks. And here's the really exciting part. These drugs have been found to have benefits beyond just weight loss.
Okay, now I'm really intrigued. Tell me more.
Research has shown that GLP-1 receptor agonists can also reduce the risk of heart attacks and strokes in people with obesity and type 2 diabetes. It's a major breakthrough in the fight against these chronic diseases.
So these drugs are not only helping people lose weight, but also improving their overall health and reducing their risk of serious health problems. That's incredible. What other groundbreaking research is shaking up the weight loss world?
Well, this might sound a bit out there, but scientists are exploring the potential of fecal microbiota transplantation, or FMT, to treat obesity.
Hold on, fecal transplants.
Yeah.
You're talking about transferring gut bacteria from one person to another. I've heard of this being used to treat certain gut infections, but I never imagined it could be used for weight loss.
It might sound strange, but it's based on the idea that we can manipulate the gut microbiome to promote weight loss. Studies have shown that transferring gut bacteria from lean individuals to obese individuals can actually lead to weight loss and improvements in metabolic health. It's still an experimental treatment, but the early results are promising.
That is mind-blowing. It seems like the more we learn about the gut microbiome, the more we realize how much it influences our overall health.
It's a truly revolutionary field of study, and the potential for developing new treatments based on manipulating the gut microbiome is immense. We're just scratching the surface.
Well, this has been an incredible journey into the world of metabolism-boosting strategies. We've covered everything from the power of cold showers and the importance of strength training to the potential of cutting-edge medications and even fecal transplants. I'm walking away with a whole new understanding of how complex and fascinating metabolism really is. Before we wrap up, what are the three biggest takeaways you want our listeners to remember?
I think the most important takeaway is that a healthy lifestyle is the foundation for a healthy metabolism. This means eating a balanced diet, exercising regularly, getting enough sleep, and managing stress. These are the cornerstones of good health.
Those are the basics we often overlook. What's the second key takeaway?
There are many surprising and effective strategies for boosting metabolism beyond the basics, from cold exposure to certain foods and supplements. Don't be afraid to explore these options and find what works best for you.
Great advice. And finally, the third takeaway.
Weight loss science is constantly evolving. Stay curious, stay informed, and don't give up on your health goals. There are always new discoveries and breakthroughs on the horizon.
This has been an incredibly insightful deep dive. Thank you for sharing your expertise with us.
It's been my pleasure. Remember, knowledge is power. Use what you've learned today to take charge of your health and create a happier, healthier you.
And that's a wrap on another episode of My Mind Mashups. Don't forget to like and subscribe to hear more deep dives into fascinating topics. You can find us on Amazon Music, Audible, Facebook, Pocket Casts, Spotify, and YouTube. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.